Josh, here's your first question. What are your qualifications and experience to run for the city commission? You have 2 minutes.
I have deep experience within the city. Prior to my retiring from the Palm Beach County School District, three of my greatest weaknesses, as perceived by my peers and others, were my administrative skills, my communication skills, and my problem-solving skills. And I feel like these are traits and characteristics that will serve me very well as a commissioner.
Well, within the 2 minutes. Shirley, go.
I have been married for 48 years. I have 2 children and 3 grandchildren. I graduated from Howard University with a BA in political science, by the way. I worked for 26 years with IBM. I've been a resident of Delray for 38 years. All of those numbers, big numbers, prove that I am stable, independent, hardworking, and I will work to get the job done, work hard to get the job done. As far as political office, I have never held it, but I have always aspired to it. As a child, sitting in the commission chamber, I watched men and women serving the city by doing the kinds of things that the city needed, serving the city. So I have worked as a political organizer / activist, which means I believe in bringing the power of bringing people together to achieve extraordinary things for the common good. And I have served as a youth monitor and ensuring that young people can read and do math, which makes them a better citizen. Those are all qualifications, I believe, to serve on the commission, because it's a matter of bringing all of your talents, and my talent, I believe, is bringing people together, working as a body for the good of the city. And I do love Delray. You must love Delray in order to do the job.
Perfect, thank you. And now we're going to come right back to you for the second question. Okay, ready?
Ready?
What do you believe to be the greatest challenge to Barrier Island and its residents? Please explain.
10 years ago when I ran for the commission's position, this very same seat, it was traffic. I think now it's gotten to be even a bigger problem, especially with the anticipation of the trains that we're told are coming, 32 a day, plus the freight. And also, I dare mention it, the development that is inevitably going to appear at the Atlantic Crossing location. I don't know how we're going to resolve it, but I believe the commission should work hard as possible to minimize this. We don't want the Barrier Island to become an island. We don't want to make it not be possible for our fire and police officers to come to your aid because a train is coming through town, or because the bridge is up, or there's a traffic jam. I've come across the island a couple of times now, meeting with the supporters in my camp, and I unfortunately caught the bridge. It took me an additional 20 minutes to get across it, and I don't dare say how many times you come and go, no matter which of the 3 bridges you use, except Linton, of course, you're going to run into that situation. So I don't know all the answers, but I believe working with the BPOA, we must try to eliminate that problem. If it hasn't changed in 10 years, I don't know if we don't work on it, it's going to improve in any way.
Thank you, Shirley. Josh, would you like me to repeat the question?
I think I understand that.
Okay.
I think one of the biggest problems that we're being confronted with here on the Barrier Island is the tremendous traffic grid. The traffic, problem is horrendous. And of course, we have the parking gridlock, and of course, the traffic gridlock. One factor that places residents on the Barrier Island at a disadvantage is the fact that it would place you at a distinct disadvantage when in fact the first responders are having to proceed in a life or death situation, and they would not be able to get from the east side of town to the west side of town whenever lives are at stake. And of course, we have, some retired and semi-retired individuals who may end up being the victim of circumstance by virtue of that train track running straight down through the middle of our city and prohibiting the first responders from getting from the east side to the west side, which is where the hospitals are located. And that places our residents in a very, very precarious position.
Thank you, Judge. You're going to get the next question. Flooding in recent years has become an increasing problem in both eastern and western parts of the city. What actions do you recommend the city undertake to reduce these problems and protect neighborhoods and infrastructure from damage in the future?
Well, one of the problems that we have is the gradual deterioration of our infrastructure, especially, with regard to our seawalls in the Marina District and also here in Veterans Park. I understand that engineers have structurally designed the seawalls and have made plans to make absolutely certain that they will withstand, the rising waters from the Intracoastal Waterway that sometimes rises over the top of over the top of the seawall and presents the opportunity to have 8 to 10 inches of additional concrete added in the event that it becomes necessary to eliminate the possibility of the flooding over the top of that seawall. And of course, I think that, these plans are in effect now, and I think, it will be a giant step in the right direction with regard to trying to control the flooding.
All right, Shirley, would you like me to repeat the question you got?
No, I think I got it. The problems that we're experiencing as a city are not just for the beach property owners. I thank you for your stewardship of the beach. You have been in an organization, the oldest organization rather, since 1967. You've taken your stewardship very seriously, and you're the envy of all of the other homeowners, neighborhood homeowners associations, because you have been stalwarts in the field, and you're the first to know when there's a problem. And it's not just a problem of the rising sea water mixing with the fresh water. It's being felt rather throughout the city. And when it rains and floods over here, we also have flooding in our neighborhoods. Today was an excellent example. On my street, there were puddles large enough for me not to put my little Prius through, because I'm very fearful that one little taste of water and it just might quit on me. Batteries don't like water. So I drove another direction. I don't know all the answers for it, but again, working together, we will be able to solve anything. I'm a positive believer in organization, coming together, inclusivity, and you have ideas that none of us may have even thought about because you've had to think about it longer. So I'm going to encourage that you continue to do your work. I have your master plan, and you've done great work, and I anticipate that you're going to continue. You're dedicated, and you're going to be the leaders in our city in resolving this issue. I believe in climate change, and if there are any of you who don't, I'd like to meet you, and we can maybe discuss why I think we've got to do something about it. Thank you.
All right, Shirley, don't put away the microphone. You get the next
It's my
question.
turn.
The BPOA started
Working on improving the promenade of the city's public beach in 2009 with the establishment of the beach area master plan. Many public meetings were held to gather information from the citizens expressing their town priorities. What are the top 3 or 4 things you would like to see implemented along our beachfront?
I like all of the ideas that you have. I'd like to see them implemented, and I will work as hard as I can to see that they are, with not having a full knowledge of all of the situations, these budgets, etc. And the only thing I don't like is that when you presented your plans, you were not respected and given the civility that I believe you were due, because you did a lot of hard work, went to a great expense to see that you thought it out and came to the commission. I think the lighting, which would protect our turtles, I'm a fan of protecting the turtles, again with the ecology. The sidewalks need to be improved, because with the use of the sidewalks for some of the restaurants, we need to widen them. I'm not against the sidewalk restaurants, the side seating outside the restaurants, but we need to make accommodations for the public. That's one of the problems we have on Atlantic, that the encroachment of the restaurants. I haven't seen that on your sidewalks. All of them are respectfully inside, but we still need to increase it, because our beaches are lovely and more people are coming. So that's one thing I'd like to see. The work that was done on the pavilion is beautiful, but all of the other things that are in your plan, I like. The lighting, the seating, everything is just beautiful, and I'd like to see it implemented.
Thank you, Josh.
The sidewalks need to be widened, which I understand is a part of the master plan. You have a parking problem. I understand that instead of having multiple parking meters, we're moving toward what we call smart meters, which will actually be to the beach school's advantage. And of course, the situation with the seat rapes, I think it has been rather horrendous with regard to what has happened, and I'm hoping that it doesn't pose a problem as far as the turtles coming ashore to lay their eggs. I think those are three problem areas that I would like to see its implementation of. And I understand that the master plan was supposed to have been implemented back in November, December, but because the company who was supposed to do the work said that if in fact they had to do it that rapidly, it would be at a greater cost to the city. So it has been kind of delayed until the summer, when most of the so-called snowbirds go back up. Then of course the work can be completed, and of course that will be a boon to the beach area.
Okay, Josh, don't put the microphone down. You get the last question.
The intersection of Ocean Boulevard and Atlantic Avenue is the eastern entry point for our downtown. The intersection has not been improved in decades. What is your vision for this important location?
I think it has a lot to do with the synchronization of the traffic lights there. I don't know who is responsible for synchronizing those lights, but it sometimes results in traffic gridlock with cars being stalled there as if they're stuck in super glue for an inordinate amount of time. I'm not absolutely certain, that I was fond of narrowing Federal Highway from 3 lanes to 2 lanes. I think perhaps maybe that has worked to our disadvantage. But I think, those are factors, that probably would enhance our ability to deal with that traffic situation there at that intersection.
Thank you. I'd like to see a different mode of transportation for those who wish to reach the beach. I don't understand why we can't have some method of transporting those who wish to go to the beach from the mainland over to the beach without them having to take their vehicles. That would probably eliminate a lot of the traffic, people just trying to get to the beach. I don't know what the answers are. Again, you probably have better ideas on it than I do. I just met a gentleman tonight in the audience who's talking about bicycling, and I think that might be one mode of transportation, especially for the younger ones, but some kind of green energy transportation might be an answer to it. You can only do so much with the space, and if everyone feels the only way they can get to the beach is with their car, then we need to maybe make some other accommodation for that process.
All right. Shirley Johnson.
Josh Smith. That brings us to the end of the questions for now. We thank you so much for participating. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a big round of Yeah, well, would you like to say any last words before you leave? Closing remarks. Oh, it's on my list. I'm sorry. Right here, closing remarks.
Thank you. Thank you. Who goes first?
Thanks, Scott. Yeah. Josh, closing remarks.
I have the support and the endorsement of two of our sitting commissioners, and these are individuals who are held in the highest esteem by residents throughout the entire city. Their vote of confidence in me speaks volumes about my ability, to be an asset to the commission with regard to addressing and helping solve some of the city's problems. I'd like to say that there is nothing wrong with our city that cannot be corrected by what is right with our city, in addition to the right makeup of our commission. And I'm asking for your support in your vote on March 14th, and I believe that I can be a definite asset with regard to the commission. Thank you very much.
My name is Shirley Johnson, and I'm running for Delray Beach City Commission Seat 4. I really want your vote. I'm not a realtor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a developer. I have worked to improve the lives of the neighbors in my community and my section of town. I'd like to work with your community to improve and help the lives of all of Delray. I'm a resident of Delray and have held positions to improve all my community. Again, as I said, I'm asking for your vote to ensure civility, respect, independence, inclusion, and unity for our city. And I'm committed to upholding these values. The fact that I've been successful in life, in my marriage, in my career, and in my unofficial serving of community organizer activists should tell you that I'm a hard-working woman who will get the job done. Vote Shirley Johnson, and while you're voting for me, keep in mind that I will work on 4 major objects or goals. I am going to ensure safe neighborhoods, number 1. Number 2, I'm going to work to establish the sober home regulations. That's not been a subject that we talked about, but one that I have encountered everywhere. I'm going to work, number 3, I'm going to work to maintain the history with adequate preservation. And number 4, establish sustainable growth with a focus on green energy and pedestrian scale. Thank you. Vote for Shirley Johnson, Seat 4, Delray Beach City Commission. Thank you.